Thank you very much, especially Gabriela. You give me a valuable time slot for the. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for share your valuable time with me. I'm here to introduce not only just the Soro code, but also I like to, share some ideas, and I like to ask you to join us, not just the Soro code, but also many different areas of computing education. It was shocked that the wrong button. So this is the right one. The Korean, all of the Korean were shocked when the grandmaster Sedor Lee, he had a big match between the Sedor and AlphaGo, and we actually expect 5-0 win for the Sedor. But unfortunately, he lose 1-4. It was shocked, and we believe that deep learning is more than we expected. And now we are in the transformed area to the so-called fourth so-called industrial revolution, or whatever we call it. We believe the most important thing is education. So I bring this matter here, and you see here deep learning, which is related to big data and cloud computing. That's the technology areas. But unfortunately, deep learning, the people actually don't know what happens in the neural net. It's just a training. We don't know what happened in there. So the thing is, somehow we have to make something. I mean, we have to catch up the technology. And also, the different point of view, we are closer to IoT, 3D printing, and IT fusion. That is most important keyword in this world. Then, nowadays, the MOOC, and MOOC is getting popular, but as a computing education, we believe that is not enough somehow. Also, our point is going to the general education as the informatics, which means like mathematics for college education, in the meantime, informatics should be the part of the freshmen's courses. Not only that, many of the countries willing to provide such kind of computational thinking kind of things to the even high school, middle school, and then it goes into the elementary school levels. Sorry. It is better to use this one. And okay. The Soro code was established in December 2008. It's quite a new one, and the Soro code is basically mutual recognition agreement among accredited of BS level computing programs at colleges and universities. Maybe you already know that the Washington Accord, which is a bit old one for the engineering education, and these the accords are sort of we try to make some kind of international organization to assure, the quality assurance for the college education. So using, as a member of Soro Code, we try to improve the computing education. Also, we try to provide the best practices for the computing education. That's the goal of the Soro Code. And the details in Soro Code is you can check the website of sorocode.organization. Soro Code is a bit different from Washington Accord. So we can say that engineering area is a bit traditional, but the computing area is a relatively new one. So we have some sort of open attitude, which is we are not require 4 years college education, the period of education. Rather, we are thinking that the outcome-based. So even though some programs are 3 years or 3.5 years, they can be members of Soro Code. That's the actual problem we can front in the Australia and some European countries. And also, we provide the outside jurisdictions. It's quite different from the Washington Accord, and our members are willing to help those who are not member of Soro Code. We can provide them, some kind of support for if those who want to be a member. Currently, full members, the AB, Korea and USA and Australia, UK and Canada, Japan, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. That's the full members, and we have provisional members like EI is the Ireland, IITP is for New Zealand, and PICA for Philippines. And some member candidates are Indonesia, Malaysia, Mexico, and it is very interesting that IQANI, that is Quality Assurance Organization for the European companies, and China and India also want to be a member. Future of Soro Code. We try to expand our program to the not restricted to BS program, but also the master's programs, and also 2 years and 3 years technicians and technologists program for the computer area, IT related area. And also we broaden our scope to the IT fusion area. I think this is very important because not just computing, but also these days we are expand our area to computing and mechanical engineering, or for example, automobile, IT kind of things, robotics. So we try to provide some kind of standard for those areas too. And this is important portion, which is I like to praise. Some area to share is the test programs for individual bachelor's level. The Korean, we already provide the top seat, But I like to promote that it's like a Linux. We like to make some kind of openness. So every country could join us to make improving the test for the college graduate kind of things. And also, we'd like to have some relation with the IT professional programs, which is IP3 supported by the IFIF, that is the software engineers. And also, we provide some suggested curriculums, IT fusion area and computing areas, like ACM already provided something, but Japanese and Korean, we do provide some kind of standard curriculums for computer science, and we like to share those kind of programs to the curriculums to the other countries. And general education, at this point, I like to give you one example, which is the Korean government. We have a very interesting ministry, which is Ministry of Science, Technology, and Future Planning. Our President Park, her catchphrase was so-called creative economy. So we like to make something, some centers to provide, the creative economy. Not only that, those Ministry of Future Planning, they choose 7 universities as a so-called software-centered university. And every university, they provide about $2 million US. And the goal of that program is to the Department of Computer Engineering or Science, they have to work with the nearby companies to share, the human power. Not only that, also they involve some kind of active projects kind of thing. That is one part. And the other part is we have to provide the computing education for every department, not only the engineering or science department, but also humanities and social science department. So that is a kind of a new model. And the other one is we have to, those software-centered universities should provide some kind of a voluntary activity for nearby elementary schools and junior and senior high schools, so teaching them the program codings and computational thinking kind of things. So that's a very big, movement in Korea. So general education, as I mentioned, that informatics as a general education is getting popular, and we like to share to what we should teach and how we can teach those who are not the computer major students. And also primary, secondary informatics education. Also, we like to make some kind of job site to share with those who have accredited universities all around the world. There are some privileges. Those accredited universities, the graduate of those college students, they can apply in some companies with some privileges, like Samsung Electronics, not only for the Korean students, but also the member societies, the accredited university graduates. That's a kind of benefit. Also, I believe Australia, they have some kind of incentive for when someone immigrate into the Australia. TOPSIT, which is an individual test for the college graduate, and that's a government supervised program, but it's a nonprofit. And we already have 96 universities and 145 industries participate. And 3 technical fields: software, database, network, and security, and 3 business fields: IT business, technical communication, and project management. Currently, we have only English version and Korean version, and Thailand and Mongolia is the current member of this TOPSIT. And we like to propose this is online test. We like to willing to, the open to the world. So anyone who are interested in to test this kind of college level test, please join us. And you may add some problems. Also, you may add some new field for your country. And you may add your language for this kind of test. The details are in the site is topsit.org.care. You can find that. So, request for all. So please join Soro Code. Every Soro Code member willing to support your society. Share the IT professional programs, share suggested curriculum, share general education, share primary, secondary informatics education, share job site. I think, as I mentioned at the first time, if your country lose the chance at this moment, we cannot be a front runner for the fourth industrial movement. So please join and go together. That's the point what I like to emphasize. Something for the joining the Soro Code, I like to give you 3 examples, 3 types of governing board like Soro Code. There are British Computer Society, Australian Computer Society, Canadian Information Processing Society. They are actually society as well as the some kind of association of computer scientists. Those organizations governing board for the Soro Code in mostly the Commonwealth countries. And ABET and JAVI, these organizations, the ABET is for United States and JAVI is for Japan. They are accreditation body, but not only the computer science, but also the engineering. So they do both of them. And ABIC is Korean. We do the computer science as well as the engineering field, but only difference is originally government support to build up this ABIC. But now we are independent organization, but the original is a bit different from some other countries. So there are 3 types of organizations governing board for the Soro Code. I like to explain that because if your country want to be a Soro Code, or if your country want to make some kind of accreditation body, then you can check which is the suitable form for your country. And one other movement in Korea I like to share is the Samsung Electronics. Some of you may notice that I retired at the end of August, so I'm free man now. And the thing is, Samsung Electronics asked me to teach them algorithms. that reminds me that I used to be a team leader for the International Olympiad in informatics. And those who get, the gold medals from IOI, I mean Korean members, they have a job like Google and Microsoft, not Samsung Electronics. But Samsung Electronics, they didn't notice that. They don't know what they are, who they are. And 2 years ago, Samsung, they noticed, wow, this is very important area. So they provide every year, not only just $100,000, but also they provide their hotels actually, and their the teaching facilities for our students. And they are keen to hire those students as a member of Samsung Electronics. So I'm very busy these days due to them, and also they provide some fund for me, so that's a happy part. But the problem is our Ministry of Future Planning noticed that this is some sort of important part. They plan to make a new kind of test for the college graduate, especially computing area. So that is, it will consist of 3 types of problems, which is, one is so-called the algorithmic style of coding problems. But we provide some deep insight of computational thinking kind of problems. It's a multiple choice or whatever it is. It's a kind of written test added. And also we have fill in the blank type, the program coding programs, and something multiple choice fill in type of programs. That is we are planning to do. So I'd like to ask you, I mean, any country who are interested in these kind of approaches, we like to share the idea and we like to make together. So as a chair of Solo Code, I humbly ask you, go together. I mean, if you need help, our members could provide the help. And we are open society. So I like to share and let's go together. That's my word. That's why I'm here to speak. Okay, thank you very much.